We're working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands. Working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Alma Angeles, and today we're live in Malaysia, where His Excellency Charles C. Jose, Ambassador of the Philippines to Malaysia, will join us. And we're live also in Thailand, Singapore, New Zealand, Sacramento, California, and other countries in the world. Thank you for joining us today. But first, the Philippine Air Force Lockheed C-130 Hercules cargo aircraft loaded with laboratory equipment from the Beijing Genomics Institute, or BGI, that will be used for coronavirus disease or COVID-19 testing, has safely landed at the Clark Air Base, Angeles City, Pampanga, early Wednesday. In a statement, PAF spokesperson Major Aristides Galang said the aircraft departed from China around 12:10 a.m. and arrived in Clark Air Base around 2:45 a.m. The PAF C-130 aircraft arrived in Shenzhen earlier on Tuesday. He said that the Department of Health representative received a total of 10,000 pounds composed of 66 boxes of BGI laboratory equipment. Upon the arrival of the C-130, personnel from Air Logistics Command, together with those from the 710th Special Operations Wing, immediately helped in providing security, safety, and disinfecting measures to BGI staff, aircrew, aircraft, and lab equipment. He also said that these initiatives with the Philippine government through the grant assistance from the Asian Development Bank and with the help of the PAF will continue as we battle against the pandemic. In an earlier Facebook post, the DOH said the BGI lab equipment is worth $2.5 million and can be set up within 7 to 10 days. And we would like to welcome with us today His Excellency Charles Jose, as the Ambassador of the Philippines to Malaysia, joining us live. Good afternoon, Ambassador. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here.
Good to see you, sir. Sir, the government has extended the MCO there, or movement curb order, is that right? Until April 28. The Prime Minister, Yassin, seemed to have backtracked on his decision to allow salons, barber shops, and all that to operate after receiving flack from the public and health experts. Could you give us an update on the development there, sir?
Yes, right now, the Malaysian government is implementing the so-called movement control order. And under this order, only non-essential business and services are allowed to operate. And this MCO started last March 18, and we are already on the third phase of the control order. Supposed to end this April 28, but I think the government is considering extending further the movement control order until maybe another couple of weeks.
Sir, kumusta naman po ang ating mga Pilipino po dyan? Yan po ang gustong malaman ng ating mga kababayan.
Yes, no? Well, naintindihan po natin yung mga pinagdadaanan ng mga kababayan natin dito. At especially yung mga concerned kami sa ating mga undocumented workers at hindi mga no work, no pay. Alam namin marami pong naapektuhan sa mga kababayan natin. Many have lost their jobs, no, and income. So we are trying our best to take appropriate measures to respond to their needs. And ilan po sa mga hakbang na nagawa na po namin para tulungan sila ay nag-ambag-ambag na po ang mga tauhan ng embassy para makapag-raise ng funds at ginamit po namin pondo ito para makapamili po ng mga relief goods. No? We collaborated with the Philcom organization dito po sa Malaysia. Ginamit po namin ang kanilang network of affiliated organizations para ma-distribute po itong relief goods na ito. At ang ating pong Philippine Overseas Labor Office o POLO ay nag-start na rin po na mag-disburse ng kanilang one-time na $200 financial assistance sa mga OFWs na who were infected by the COVID-19 virus at pati po yung mga nawalan po ng trabaho dahil sa pandemic. At ang ating Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, OWA, ay namahagi na rin po ng donation para makatulong din po. Chinanel din po nila ang kanilang donation through the Philcom organization. At bukod po dito, tinulungan na rin po ng embassy yung mga Filipino tourists who were stranded dito po sa Malaysia na naipit po sila rito nung nag-announce po ng lockdown. And so far, nung pong April 5, nakapagpa-uwi po kami ng 83 na mga stranded Filipinos. At meron po kaming ina-arrange ulit na chartered flight. Announce po namin yung date in due course. But so far, we have already 163 Filipinos na nag-sign up for this chartered flight. And of course, ang embassy rin po ay patuloy na minomonitor yung mga Filipinos who were infected by the COVID-19 virus. We continue to monitor their condition. And once they get cured and discharged, we will help them in their repatriation back to the country.
Mga ilang Pilipino po ang apektado po ang nagkasakit po ng COVID-19 or nag-test positive po?
Ang total po ng Pilipino na test positive ay 94. Karamihan po ito ay puro nag-attend po nung isang tablig gathering, isa pong religious gathering, no?
Opo.
Sa isang mosque dito.
Opo.
At karamihan din po doon ay mga madrasa students, mga Filipino students na nag-aaral po dito sa madrasa. 94 po in total. And so far, 61 na po yung gumaling at na-discharge. So meron pa pong 33 pa na still undergoing treatment.
Mabuti naman po, marami na rin po yung gumaling, yung ating recoveries po, no? So, paano pa po natin sila, yung po bang one-time disbursement ng $200, dire-diretso pa din po hanggang ngayon? Hindi naman po nasuspend dyan po?
Well, talagang madami pong nag-file ng kanilang application. I think nakatanggap po ang ating polo ng about 6,000 applications. So they are evaluating each application, and yung po mga nag-qualify na ay napadala na po nitong financial assistance na to. Pero patuloy pa rin pong nag-evaluate ang ating polo ng mga qualified applicants.
So dire-diretso po ang pagtulong natin sa ating mga kababayan. Ano po? So, sir, tatanungin ko lang kasi, di ba dyan sa Malaysia, just like any other ASEAN countries na marami din na, yung street food industry, how is that industry now in the time of COVID-19? Kumusta naman po dyan? Just give us a picture of lifestyle in Malaysia po.
Although may movement control order, mga non-essential businesses ay sarado, pati services, pero mananatili pong bukas ang mga supermarkets, groceries, at pharmacies. At so mga tao po ay nakakalabas pa rin po para bumili ng kanilang mga pangangailangan, no? Mga gamot, mga pagkain. Pero restricted na po, no? Ang paglabas ng tao, only one person per household ang pwede po lumabas. At kung nasa sasakyan ay isang tao lang po ang dapat ang laman ng sasakyan at hindi po dapat lumabas sa 10 kilometers radius ng kanilang bahay. Pero yung mga street food po ay sarado na po ngayon yan.
Sarado na. So sa sasakyan po, kailangan isa lang po ang tao, hindi pwedeng kahit dalawa man lang? Isa sa harap, isa sa likod?
Yun po ang pinatutupad nila ngayon. Only one passenger per vehicle ang allowed po na lumabas.
May penalty po? May penalty po ba?
Well, so far naman po, no, medyo sumusunod po yung mga tao rito at one factor din po kaya kung bakit mababa ang total cases ng mga positive dito po sa Malaysia. Pero I'm sure meron pong mga penalty sa mga hindi po susunod.
Besides the MCO regulations po, yung Movement Control Order, how has Malaysia taken steps to curb the spread of the coronavirus po?
Sa larangan po ng medicine and health, no, talagang naglagay po ng pera ang Malaysian government. They allocated an additional 500 million ringgit, that's about 120 million US dollars, to the Ministry of Health to purchase medical equipment such as ventilators, ICU equipment, yung PPEs, lab requirements for testing. At nag-allocate din po ng another 100 million ringgit o 24 million US dollars to recruit 2,000 new health contract workers. At dinoble po nila ang kanilang daily testing from the initial 7,000. Ngayon po ay nasa 16,500 tests sila daily. So ilan po ito sa mga hakbang na ginawa ng Malaysian government para maging effective ang kanilang management nitong COVID-19 virus.
Yung pong alam po namin na kilala sa bayanihan ng mga, siyempre tayo po mga Pilipino, especially during times of crisis. Yung, meron po ba tayong activities na kung saan aktibong nakatulong ang mga Pilipino po dyan?
Tama po, no? Very active po ang ating Filipino Community Organization dito under the umbrella organization ng Federation of Filipino Associations in Malaysia o yung FAM, no? Sila po ang under this umbrella organization may mga I think mga 30 affiliated PhilCom organizations at ito po nakakalat po sa buong Malaysia, sa Peninsula at pati po sa East Malaysia at ginagamit po namin ito. We have partnered with FAM para ipabahagi, no, sa mga kababayan natin yung mga relief goods dahil hindi rin po kami we cannot reach out to everyone, every part ng Malaysia, kaya we partnered with the Filipino organization. At sila po mismo, yung mga members ng FAM, they have contributed their resources para po makatulong din sa ating mga mas nangangailangan ng mga kababayan dito.
Ayan, itong panahon ng coronavirus talagang napakahirap po para sa lahat sa atin, ano? Meron po ba kayong, kayo po, kumusta na po kayo? Paano po ang routine ninyo bilang ambassador po dyan sa Malaysia? How are you doing po?
Well, kami rin po, no? Ang embassy sumusunod po dun sa Movement Control Order at nirequest po ng Ministry of Foreign Affairs na mag-scale down operations sa mga embassy. So kami po sa Philippine Embassy ay we're working from home. But kahit po working from home kami ay busy pa rin po kami sa pagtulong. Meron po kaming duty officers na nagmaman ng aming 3 hotlines 24/7 and we have people working on social media answering queries and concerns of our mga kababayan dito. At yung aming pong Assistance to Nationals unit ay sila po nagmamonitor ng mga COVID-19 positive Filipinos. Sila rin po yung mga nag-a-assist sa mga stranded. At doon po sa mga kababayan natin na who have approached the embassy requesting for assistance. So in whatever way that we can help them, we are trying to do that.
Ang isa rin hong problema sa, sabihin natin sa lahat ng parte ng mundo, dahil nga ho sa isolation, kawalan ng trabaho, laging mga psychological or mental health problems, let's say. Meron po ba tayong mga kaso dyan ng mga kababayan din po natin na merong ganitong problema at paano po natin sila ina-address?
So far, wala po pang may natatanggap na request for assistance, no, regarding mental health ng ating mga kababayan dito. I think medyo resilient yung mga kababayan natin dito. But in any case, the Malaysian government is very much aware, no, nitong problem ng mental health, especially during times like this. And marami po mga hospitals dito that are offering assistance pagdating po sa mental health issue.
Tapos kanina na-mention nyo din po yung mga ginagawa ng Malaysia to help curb the coronavirus or to help stop it na po, ano? I just read that Malaysia has also enrolled its first patient for the WHO Solidarity Trial para mga makaparticipate sa mga drug tests ng COVID-19 vaccine po. Isa po ang Malaysia rin po, no, para sa napili ng WHO for the trial po.
Tama po, no? Napili ang Malaysia ng WHO para mag-undertake nitong trial na to dahil na-recognize po ng WHO yung effective management ng Malaysia. So they have elicited the cooperation of Malaysia para po makapag-test trials.
Sir, you seem to be a hardworking, positive person. Meron po ba kayong mensahe sa mga nanonood po ngayon during this crisis po on how to be optimistic, how to be positive, kahit na ganito po ang nangyayari sa atin ngayon sa mundo?
Opo, no? Madami po kami natatanggap ang embassy ng mga request for assistance galing po sa mga kababayan natin dito. For information, may mga 900,000 po tayong mga kababayan dito, both documented and undocumented. So madami po kami natatanggap ng request. So ang embassy po, we are aware, no, ng pinagdadaanan po ng mga ating kababayan dito. Alam po namin na hindi po madali, no, ang pinagdadaanan nila, especially mga undocumented and yung mga no work, no pay na nawalan po ng trabaho at kita during this movement control order. At gusto ko pong i-assure mga kababayan natin na the embassy is doing its best, no, to try to address their needs and concerns. But at the same time, we should also recognize na limited din po ang resources ng ating pamahalaan. We may not be able to address each and every concern, but we would like to assure our nationals here that we are doing our best to reach out to the most in need of our fellow Filipinos here in Malaysia.
All right. Maraming salamat po, Ambassador, for your time. Thank you so much at huwag po kayong magsasawa. Please stay healthy.
Maraming salamat.
And on behalf of EBC, stay healthy and keep safe po. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat din po. Maraming salamat sa inyong oras. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. His Excellency Charles C. Jose, Ambassador of the Philippines to Malaysia. All right. So we now go to Vietnam. There's a sense of relief in Vietnam now as social distancing restrictions are easing now. Here's Ralph Wandolph Empire for the report. Hello, Ralph.
Hi there, Alma. Pleasant day.
Indeed, a pleasant day for you guys over there.
That's right, Alma. Today, the strict social distancing measures is lifted. With the restrictions lifted, many non-essential businesses in Hanoi will be allowed to resume as long as they ensure proper hygiene practices for customers and workers, while schools are slated to reopen in early to mid-May. Nguyen Duc Chung, chairman of Hanoi's People's Committee, made the announcement on Wednesday afternoon yesterday, following a government meeting to discuss whether to extend Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phoc's Directive 16 on nationwide social distancing, which took effect on April 1 and was due to end on April 22nd. The capital city, Hanoi, has reported 112 COVID-19 cases out of the national tally of 268, with 81 already recovered while 31 remain in treatment. Hanoi was initially deemed to be in the high-risk group, and the National Steering Committee for Preventing and Fighting COVID-19 on Wednesday morning still recommended that the city should comply with Directive 16 for at least another week until April 30, just to be on the safe side. Hanoi's leaders, however, asked the government for a downgrade to a medium-risk classification in order to reactivate its economy and life, while pledging full-force preventive measures to contain the spread of the virus under the motto, quick detection, identification of outbreak areas, and suppressing the outbreak, while preventing community-wide spread transmission. Now, the Vietnamese government leader agreed with Hanoi's request on the basis of the achievements and outcomes the city's authorities had made in dealing with the detected outbreaks in its jurisdiction. The Hanoi leader said he had assigned relevant agencies to develop detailed plans to ease social distancing measures in the city, which would be released soon. Directive 16 measures will remain in effect in two outlying districts of the city, Truong Tinh and My Lane, identified as high-risk areas in Hanoi. According to Nguyen Juk-chung, the city had already made plans for students to return to school. Secondary high school students and above would start back at school on May 4, while primary schools and kindergartens would start to reopen on May 11. However, religious gatherings, celebrations, and all sporting and cultural activities are still banned. Bars, karaoke venues, and massage parlors are still not allowed to operate yet. In addition, the city will not be receiving foreign tourists for the time being. Sidewalk economic activities with iced tea and lemon tea shops set up alongside busy pavements cited as examples will also be forbidden. People are told to maintain a safe distance of 2 meters in the open, and those who fail to wear face masks in public will be fined. Restaurants, food stalls, malls, and supermarkets can reopen as long as the safe distance is adhered to. These venues must also set up hand washing stations, and visitors and customers must have their temperatures checked. Restaurants and food shops should follow other countries' examples, setting up glass, nylon, or plastic barriers to minimize risk of infection for the customers sitting opposite each other, Chung said. Transport businesses are also allowed to resume, but with reduced capacity, about 20 to 30%. Manufacturers, companies, and agencies must carry out proper prevention measures for their employees, obligatory mask wearing, and a full supply of hand sanitizer. Now, Alma, from April 16 to April 22nd, the city didn't record any new cases. Alma?
All right. Thank you very much for that update. Good news indeed from Vietnam. It's a gradual opening, right?
That's right.
So
That's right. And may I just add, Alma, along with Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, Bac Ninh, and Ha Giang provinces are also in the medium risk category. So from higher risk category, the Hanoi's leaders decided to downgrade these cities from high risk to medium risk category. And also local authorities are given the right to decide which shops can open or not.
Okay. So some businesses can open, but it's up to the local authorities which ones. Yeah. Okay.
That's
Thank you
right.
so much, Ralph, for that update. Always, as I say, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Likewise, reporting live from Hanoi, Vietnam. We live in interesting times.
Meanwhile, a special ASEAN-US foreign ministers meeting was held to tackle COVID-19. Our EBC correspondent Gila Pablo from EBC Bangkok, Thailand Bureau is joining us live. Hello, Gila.
Hello, Alma. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Gila.
Yes, Alma, here's a quick official COVID-19 update here in Thailand as of today. Before I proceed with our headlines, there are reported 30 new coronavirus cases, raising the national total to 2,839, and 2,430 discharged from the hospital. That's additional of 78. There are still 359 still in the hospital, and additional 1 death, a total of 50 deaths. A Thai woman with a chronic ailment whose daughter had earlier been infected. And in regards of the special ASEAN-US foreign ministers meeting on COVID-19, the foreign minister Don Pramudwinai was scheduled to attend the special ASEAN-US foreign ministers meeting on COVID-19 via video conference on Thursday. That's today, the 23rd of April. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Lao PDR, in his capacity as current country coordinator for ASEAN-US dialogue relations, will co-chair the meeting with Mr. Michael Pompeo, State Secretary of the United States of America. This special ASEAN-US foreign ministers meeting will be an affirmation of their joint commitment to enhance concrete cooperation between ASEAN and the US in the area of public health emergencies in order to respond to COVID-19 in a timely manner. Both sides will focus on exchanging information and best practices in a timely and transparent manner, enhancing the capacity to respond to public health emergency situations by utilizing ASEAN-led public health mechanisms, extending assistance to nationals of ASEAN member states and the U.S., sustaining the regional supply chain, particularly the flow of essential goods and services such as food, medicines, and medical equipment, exploring cooperation to mitigate the social and economic impacts, and discussing the plan for economic recovery in the post-COVID-19 period. At the conclusion of the meeting, Alma, the Lao PDR and the U.S., in their capacities as co-chairs, will issue a co-chairs statement to reflect the firm commitment of both sides to collectively address the COVID-19 situation, including concrete initiatives and cooperation between the two sides in order to enhance capacity in public health and prepare for future public health emergencies. And furthermore, Alma, first human trials of virus vaccine will be in 4 months. Human trials of COVID-19 vaccine in Thailand, Alma, are expected to begin within the next 4 months, says the Department of Disease Control, or DDC. The announcement follows an initial agreement by the Ministry of Public Health to cooperate with the Chinese pharmaceuticals company in the development of a vaccine. Speaking at a National Vaccine Committee meeting chaired by the Public Health Minister, DDC Chief Suwatnachai Watanaging Charionchai said the National Vaccine Institute is preparing to sign a memorandum understanding with Chinese partners to test the COVID-19 vaccine in Thailand. Alma, the trial is expected to involve more than 10,000 Thai participants. They are going to consider possible candidates to work with. It must be done based on what the benefits for the country are, including obtaining the actual vaccine quickly and the technology transfer, said the DDC chief. And regarding technology transfer, he insisted many laboratories in the country are ready to develop a vaccine if their Chinese counterparts provide them with the technology. Attempts are being made around the world to develop a vaccine against the novel coronavirus 2019, which is regarded as the most effective way to stop the global pandemic. A vaccine is not expected to come out before next year at the earliest. Many pharmaceutical companies have already begun human trials to test potential vaccines to introduce a for-market version and produce it as fast as possible. Alma, when a vaccine is developed, the DDC is looking to give it initially to 800,000 young people aged between 29 to 39 years old, the age group with the highest number of infections, and followed by other risk groups such as the elderly. People in big cities will be the first to be vaccinated. Public Health Minister Anutin Chandrasekharan said he has told the National Vaccine Institute to complete its vaccine development blueprint within 3 months so the country can go ahead with vaccine development projects. He added the government has approved 45 billion baht for the fight against COVID-19, which included vaccine development, adding the government's top priority is to make a vaccine available quickly. Back to you, Alma.
All right, thank you very much, Gila, for that update. And as I always say, keep safe, stay healthy. Thank you for your time.
Same to you, Alma. And we wish to congratulate Net25 for its 20th anniversary today from all of us here in Thailand Bureau. Reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand, this is Sheila Pablo. We live in interesting times.
Maraming salamat po sa nurse na nag-asikaso sa amin ng anak ko kahit sobrang busy niya.
Hindi po ako iniwan ng doktor hanggang sa umayos ang pakiramdam ko. Salamat po talaga.
Thank you po sa nursing assistant na pumansin agad sa amin pagdating namin ng ospital.
Thank you so much po talaga sa lahat ng staff ng ospital, maging sa mga utility po, dahil gumaling po ako dahil sa kanila.
Ating pasalamatan at pangalagaan ang mga magigiting na health workers.
This program is presented by
SMC Infrastructure,
Building a better world.
Co-presented by Canrib Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee, masarap, mabango, at healthy pa. Kubert Industries Incorporated Trading and Services, the cooling expert. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, color for protection for your home. Matimco. Matimco is wood. Wood is Matimco. R Square Variables Incorporated, your trusted UPS supplier and UPS maintenance provider in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. CompuZell Computer Services, ID card and lanyard manufacturer, DN Steel, EMAC UPVC Roof Corporation.
Skyway Stages 1 and 2, the elevated toll road system project, run from a section of the South Luzon Expressway from Alabang to Magallanes, Makati. The Skyway Stage 3 is an elevated expressway connecting the South Luzon Expressway through the existing Skyway Stages 1 and 2 to the North Luzon Expressway via Balintawak. Skyway Stage 4 is an 80-kilometer mixed elevated and at-grade toll road that will connect the existing Skyway system starting from the FTI section all the way to Bulacan.
Okay, welcome back. A guarded optimism in the battle against COVID-19. Why? Let's hear it from New Zealand Bureau's Bea Borja. Hello, Bea. Can you hear me, Bea? Hello.
Hi, Alma.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. What are your updates for us?
So today, it's been 4 weeks and a day since New Zealand went into alert level 4 lockdown. And judging by the government's relentless effort to flatten or squash the curve of the COVID-19 contagion, the metrics indicate and inspire a sense of guarded optimism for New Zealanders that progress is slowly but surely being made. Ministry of Health Director General Ashley Bloomfield reported only 3 new cases today, 2 confirmed and 1 probable. He also reported 2 new deaths, bringing the total number of fatalities in the country to 16. Both deaths involved elderly people, a woman in her 60s and a man in his 70s. On the first day of the lockdown extension, today is the 29th day, it is looking like the country truly is locking in its alert level 4 gains, which is the stated intention for the extension. This is the 5th day in a row New Zealand has reported single-digit new cases since lockdown began. The deaths serve as a grim reminder that the country may be past the peak, but not out of the woods in the battle against COVID-19. Alma?
All right. And how is New Zealand looking today, Bea, with alert level 3? How does it look now? Give us a picture.
We're not yet in alert level 3. We will be in alert
it's on
level 3
Monday.
next
It's on
week.
Monday, right? That's right.
On Tuesday, yeah.
Okay, so how is the population reacting to that? Is there a sense of excitement, or?
I guess so because people are looking forward who will be going back to work. There will be back to work for construction, forestry, manufacturing, and some retail, as long as they have no face-to-face transactions. So I guess everyone is looking forward to a little bit more normal, but not yet socially, because we're still instructed to stay at home. And I guess we're all looking forward to having McDonald's again and being able to order takeaways.
All right. Thank you very much, Bea, for your update. I'll see you soon. Thank you for your time, as always.
Thank you so much. This is Bea Borja reporting live from Wellington City, New Zealand. We live in interesting times.
All right. Over in Singapore, the cases surpassed the 10,000 mark, and a 12th death has been reported. We have more updates from John Lord Cruz. Hello, John.
Hi, Alma.
Hi, John. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Still at
Okay.
home.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay, here's the update. Despite the initial success in city-states' response to pandemic, rising cases among migrant workers seen as blind spot. As I reported yesterday, Alma, 2 weeks into Singapore's lockdown, the city-states' coronavirus cases continue to rise. This prompted the government to extend its order limiting movement among residents until June 1. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong announced the extension of the order for people to stay at home. Singapore reported 1,111 new cases, most of them among migrants who work in low-wage jobs and usually live in crowded, airless dormitories on the outskirts of the city. At least 1,016 more cases were reported on Wednesday, bringing the total to 10,141. The number of deaths, however, have been kept low at 11. Singapore adopted a calibrated approach in response to the pandemic, imposing new restrictions from quarantining incoming travelers to requiring social distancing in public places and banning non-residents from the country. With the help of the police, a team also tracked and traced the contact of people diagnosed with COVID-19. But the government failed to pay enough attention to the country's migrant laborers. Just before the circuit breaker came into force, the Singapore government said it was fighting the virus at home on two separate fronts, one for the general population and one for migrant workers in dormitories who were told they could no longer leave their accommodation once the lockdown started. Alma?
All right. Thank you very much, John Lord, for that update. We'll see you back tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is John Lord Cruz reporting live from Singapore. We live in interesting times.
Foreign workers in Malaysia are now allowed to renew their temporary employment visit passes online. That and more from our EBC correspondent, Ruby Tinawin. Hello, Ruby.
Hello, Alma. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ruby. What are your updates for us? Thank you for joining us.
Yes, foreign workers can apply online to renew their temporary employment visit passes, which will expire during the movement control order. Immigration Director General Datuk Khairul Dezaimi Daud said the government had a record in the immigration system to renew the temporary visit passes of foreign workers, and that they will be granted renewal of pass provided they comply and have met the stipulated terms for renewal. Expatriates, namely ambassadors, foreign representatives from various categories, including holders of professional visit pass, can apply online to get the date for an interview via Expatriate Service Division portal and My Expats system. Khairul Dezaimi said after the application was made, the Immigration Department would issue a date after the end of the MCO for them to attend the interview. He said the foreign workers who were not in the expatriate category, such as laborers and domestic workers, their employers were asked to apply on their behalf. The applications could be made through the MyEG online system linked with the Malaysian immigration system and would be processed by immigration for renewal. In another development, he said 1/3 of the 14,000 immigration officers and personnel was stationed at the country's entry points during the MCO and would continue to tighten control. For example, at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, only 1/3 of the immigration counter, which is 36 in total, are open. He added those who perform administrative, financial, and other such tasks were required to work from home, while only 1 to 3 people were allowed to be in the office to ensure smooth operation of administrative function. Now, the World Bank has cautioned the Malaysian government about its inability to respond effectively should the COVID-19 fallout drag on, citing Putrajaya's limited fiscal space for extended intervention. Southeast Asia's third largest economy is already struggling to shield its workforce and small businesses from the devastation made by SARS and COVID, the two pandemics. Now, the bank warned that protracted restrictions could do more damage, given the little monetary options left for the government to extend help, even as Muhyiddin administration injected a 260 billion ringgit stimulus to retain jobs and to keep business afloat. Over 40% of the country's 16 million workers are already left out of existing employment over social protection. The bank noted Perikatan Nasional allocated less than 30 billion for direct fiscal injection from the total stimulus package, with most of its cash handouts channeled towards low and middle income households with a monthly income of less than 4,000 ringgit. But the World Bank suggested that more would be needed to protect vulnerable households and businesses should the crisis deepen. Now, the government has already extended the MCO for over a month, and so far has yet to indicate if the restriction enforced since March 18 would be gradually lifted once the third phase ends on April 28. Economists estimate losses from the shutdown to be at least 25% of the GDP. As for global oil prices hit record lows, there is a mounting concern that the dip in the government revenue would prevent future intervention. Now, meanwhile, Malaysia does not see the production of synthetic palm oil by U.S. startup company called C16 Biosciences as a threat to natural palm oil supply chain, particularly when produced under the best agricultural practices and sustainability standards. In fact, the world's second largest palm oil producer wishes the best to the company. The investment arm of Bill Gates led Breakthrough Energy Ventures in its endeavors and even will be prepared to work with them if they desire. Based on statements made by the Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister, Dr. Muhammad Khairuddin Aman Rezali, and Malaysian Palm Oil Council Chief Executive Officer Dr. Kalyana Sundram, in an article written in Euractiv, an independent pan-European media network, they said there are so many other intrinsic difficulties that will come with trying to copy nature's palm oil, and that the intricacies and complexities of various configurations can hardly be fully duplicated by current technologies. Now, both of them agreed that nature seemed to be the sole patent holder for successful permutation of such molecular triglyceride species. They said the likes of C16 Biosciences should nevertheless be credited for thinking out of the box, but do not necessarily agree that they will generate the global opportunity that could limit the use of natural palm oil. The C16 Bioscience Synthetic Palm Oil Project received $20 million fund from Microsoft Corporation co-founder. Datuk Razali and Datuk Sundram both added that as a nation, Malaysia has led the scientific entrepreneurship in palm oil, with several hundred million already expanded into various research. These have open partnered some of the best research institutes from around the world. Alma?
All right. Thank you very much, Ruby, for that update. We'll see you soon. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for your time.
Now, from EBC Malaysia Bureau, this is Ruby Tinawin with Leave in Interesting Times.
For the first time, professional boxers in Aichi, Japan, have tested positive for the coronavirus, and the Hitachi Medical Company Limited will now begin producing face shields. We have those reports from Dennis Liu, our EBC Japan Bureau. Hello, Dennis.
In Osaka Prefecture, 3 people died due to the new coronavirus. An 80-year-old man and 2 women in their 70s were among the fatalities, making the total number of deaths in Osaka Prefecture due to the new coronavirus 15. In other news, 2 professional boxers in Aichi were also infected by the new coronavirus. This is the first time in Japan that an infection has been confirmed in professional boxing, according to Japan Boxing Commission. According to the Boxing Commission, or JBC, the two men's professional athletes belong to the same pro boxing gym in Aichi Prefecture, which was said to be infected with the virus. They have conducted a test on April 20th, followed by another test the next day, the 21st. One is now in a hospital in Aichi Prefecture since the 20th, while the other at home being treated. The boxing gym was closed since April 12, and it was sterilized well after other gym users complained symptoms similar to COVID-19. JBC is now planning to discuss future measures with the Japan Professional Boxing Association as boxing matches were canceled and postponed. As we ran out of shield for COVID-19, Hitachi Medical Company Limited will produce face shields for hospitals and clinics amid shortage due to the spread of the new coronavirus. These face shields can cover the faces of doctors and nurses to keep them away from the virus. The three production sites will be in Ibaraki and Aichi prefectures. They plan to start production by May 15th, and about 10,000 pieces a week in June will be provided to all medical field workers. Moreover, they are also planning to support the production of artificial respirators and to manufacture a total of 510,000 masks for medical institutions. With the new coronavirus pandemic, medical support continues to expand among car builders and manufacturers of electric supplies. As the national government gives support to all residents in Japan as a whole, some companies are also extending help to its employees. An average of 32,000 yen per employee will be provided to Ideon staffs. Ideon is a leading consumer electronics retailer. Will give 32,000 yen for all employees in order to avoid physical contacts and social distancing as the infection of COVID-19 spreads. According to Ideons in Osaka, 550 million yen in total is to be given depending on employment type this May 1st. The average pay per employee will be around 32,000 yen and 17,500 yen for part-timers. COVID-19 made employees deprived from working as the infection spreads and stores are temporarily closed. Meanwhile, a supermarket operating in Osaka and Kyoto called Konomiya announced that it will pay 10,000 yen to all 8,000 employees. Another major supermarket, Life Corporation, will also pay an average of 7,500 yen per person. In sports, here's another good news. Tennis athlete Nishikori Kei participated in Net to Support for Infectious Disease Control Game Tournament. Kei Nishikori will take part in the tennis game tournament on the internet that will be held on April 27th in his will to support fight against the deadly new coronavirus. This tennis tournament was supposed to happen in Madrid and Spain in May. However, due to the spread of the new coronavirus, the schedule was canceled. The organizer will hold a tennis game tournament via internet for 4 days from the 27th of April, where Kei Nishikori will join. In this tournament schedule, the grand prize of 150,000 euros, and a part of which will be used to support players in financial difficulties. And another 50,000 euros will be donated for the prevention of infectious diseases. Nishikori with 16 other players will participate in this tournament from their homes through the internet. Karolina Pliskova, Czech Republic, third in the world for women's division, and Nadal from Spain, second in the world for men's division, are both joining in this unique game as well. These are the latest news updates from around Japan. Reporting from Tokyo, Japan, this is Dennis Lu. We live in interesting times.
And joining us live from Sacramento, California is MJ Racadio. Hello, MJ.
Hi, Alma.
Hi, how are you doing?
Very good. It's been a while.
It's been a while,
It's been a while.
Are you okay now?
I feel better, thank God. And yes, I've been taking care of my my health That's why I've never reported for 2 weeks. But let's go on with the numbers this time.
Yes.
Well, for the California, it confirmed 35,396,000 cases for COVID-19. And with the deaths, which is 1,354 deaths. And with that said, a reality check on the math. So what's ahead for California and COVID-19? Here in California has fared better than New York. But residents should expect to stay indoors at least until June, according to a public health expert. Now, let's go on with the Los Angeles County. They recorded 16,435,000. I mean, rather 16,435 cases of COVID-19 and 729 deaths. And here in Sacramento County, there have been 971 cases of COVID-19 and 36 deaths. Now, with that said, there is good news to everyone here, especially in Sacramento County. There is a homeless response plan, which is the Board of Supervisors authorized the Sacramento County Department of Human Assistance, or DHA, to accept funding from and enter into an agreement with the California Business, Consumer Services, and Housing Agency, or BCSH, to provide emergency services and support to persons experiencing homelessness in response to COVID-19 health crisis. So listen to this, Alma. Sacramento County was awarded a grant in the amount of almost $100 million as part of the newly signed Senate Bill 89, or SB 89, by Governor Gavin Newsom, which freed up $100 million in funding to counties. And as you know, Sacramento is the 13th largest cities in the state of California. Now, in terms of arrest, there's one member of San Diego rally arrested against a stay-at-home order, and one in Orange County. And here in Sacramento last Monday, which mirrored others have sprung up nationwide, have been dubbed Operation Gridlock. So featured hundreds of people driving vehicles around the complex, around the Capitol in downtown. They're honking their horns, and hundreds of others standing shoulder to shoulder, cheering them up as they express opposition to the governor's stay-at-home order. So that is the, and there's another good news, Alma. The state effort has secured 10,974 hotel and motel rooms and 1,133 trailers for extremely vulnerable individuals experiencing homelessness to flatten the curve and preserve hospital capacity. So that is a good news here in the whole state of California, from Sacramento to San Diego. Now let's go on with a little lighter note with this. This is a relationship between Goldie Hawn and Kate Hudson. So this
Mother
is
and
how
daughter.
it goes. Yes, the mother and daughter relationship. This is what Kate Hudson's Instagram. As she wrote on Instagram in honor of Kate's 41st birthday, this is what it says: "I love you deeply and can't imagine my life without you. You entered this world wide and ready to roll. And look at you now, I'm so proud." And it says here, according to People's Magazine, "We hope our children will amplify the best part of us. I'm proud of my daughter. She has become a spokesperson herself for children's wellness, for happiness, all the things that she grew up with." And this is another interview. According to Oprah Winfrey, told the mogul, we as mothers have to be able not to pass the baton, but to be able to give free rein for your daughter to grow and to make mistakes. And doesn't mean that they're not watched, but it means that they're honored. just be there. You just don't always have the power to over. I believe that this is one of the most important things as a parent you can go to let go in times, so these children can formulate their own identity. So it's such a positive thing to have, despite of this COVID-19 pandemic. We still hear this positive news with our celebrities.
And how are you keeping yourself optimistic and positive and upbeat when
I'm glad
you just
yes, I'm glad you asked that, because I'm super excited because I am actually producing a new show, online show for Eagle Broadcasting called Entertainment Vlog. So, with this platform here at ASEAN in Focus, now it's going to be expanded in our platform. So if they could visit our YouTube, we have 8 new shows. So if you're tired and sick of COVID-19, now this is your chance to really entertain yourself. If you're into sports, if you're into cooking, or even a discussion, or even into music, or even just for entertainment. So we have something for everyone, for the whole entire family, for the new show for Eagle Broadcasting Online.
Good diversion. Thank you so much, MJ, for all that. And we'll watch out for your show, of course. And everyone
Definitely. Yes, this is MJ Recalli reporting from Sacramento, California. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alma.
Thank you, MJ. Members of the Iglesia de Cristo in New Zealand are benefiting from backyard gardening amid the lockdown. Here's Greg Bessa for the report.
The lockdown in New Zealand, with no one is allowed to leave their home unless doing essential travels, is making the buying of basic commodities at supermarkets difficult due to the social distancing policy, which is causing long queues of customers. There are also reports that food prices have increased a bit. But amid lockdown, members of the Iglesia de Cristo Church of Christ in New Zealand are enjoying the fruits of their labor in doing
The backyard gardening is a project launched by the administration of the Iglesia de Cristo Church of Christ, aimed at addressing widespread poverty and malnutrition in the Philippines. Also called gulayan sa bakuran in Filipino language, the church administration is encouraging their members to plant vegetables and fruits in their backyards, be it in empty lots or in small pots. This project has also been implemented in other countries where there are established congregations of the church, including in New Zealand. Rather than a source of main income, members of the church in this country have considered the project as a productive leisure activity wherein they can easily and readily harvest fresh vegetables and fruits for consumption. The importance of backyard gardening has become evident when the government of New Zealand implemented a lockdown nationwide for 4 weeks from 25th March 2020 to eliminate the threat of COVID-19 pandemic. Instead of traveling to supermarkets and endure the long queues, members of the church are having vegetables and fruits from their backyards for them to be able to prepare economical yet nutritious foods.
The backyard gardening is a project launched by the church administration through the leadership of Brother Eduardo V. Manalo under the Christian Family Organizations, with Brother Angelo Eranio V. Manalo as the overall coordinator on September 2019. This project was instructed by the administration to all the brethren all over the world and was enthusiastically responded by the brethren, even those who only have a small plot in their backyard. The brethren are driven by their belief that everything that the church administration has decided is based on what God wants for the welfare of His people in their material and spiritual needs. Due to the crisis brought by the COVID-19 pandemic, as we all know, this crisis has resulted not only severe illness and death to those who are contracted, but also crisis or shortage of food supplies due to the total lockdown and government restrictions in order to protect the people from this disease and to lower, if not to totally stop the rate of the spread of this virus. The brethren now, not only in New Zealand, are benefiting from their harvest from the vegetables and root crops that they had planted several months before this pandemic. Their harvest or the produce of their backyard gardens have covered some of their immediate needs.
We would like to extend our many thanksgiving to our dearest Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, as well as to our CFO Coordinator, Brother Angelo Eranio V. Manalo, for the approval of this activity, Gulayan sa Bakuran. Gulayan sa Bakuran aims to fight poverty and malnutrition. This activity will not only to ease their family expenses every day, but also provide a healthy and organic food in their table. Muli po, salamat at meron pong ganitong aktibidad sa aming distrito na sa kasalukuyan ay pinakikinabangan ng lahat ng mga kapatid. Salamat po ng marami sa inyo.
Ito po ay pagtugon sa panawagan ng pamamahala na gulayan sa bakuran na sa kahit sa panahon ngayon ng COVID-19 ay bago pa po mangyari itong lockdown ay nakapagtanim na po kami ng mga gulay dahil sa hindi inaasahang pagkakataon na dumating itong COVID-19 ay napapakinabangan na po namin itong gulayan sa bakuran.
Who would have thought that ever since the church administration launches the project Gulayan sa Bakuran, we will be benefiting from it. We don't even know that this pandemic or this outbreak of epidemic will be happening all throughout the world. But look, the church administration have been preparing for us so that we can be busy at home during the times when we are locked down inside our premises or our home. And we have something that we can use of or utilize and make that will be part of our meal.
Pagkakaroon po ng mga gulayan sa bakuran, lalong-lalo na po sa panahon ito ng pamundo na pandemic o dahil sa COVID-19, ay malaking tulong po ang pagkaroon po ng gulayan sa ating mga.
Members of the church are very grateful to the church executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and the Christian Family Organization Coordinator, Brother Angelo Eranio Manalo, for guiding them in the backyard gardening project as they are benefiting from it at the height of this unprecedented health crisis that New Zealand and the rest of the world are confronting right now.
There's no doubt of the economic and health benefits members of the Iglesia ni Cristo Church of Christ are getting from the gardens of their backyards. For those who are not doing the backyard gardening yet, it is not truly to have your own, whether there's a lockdown or not. From our own garden here in Wellington City, New Zealand, this is Greg Bessa. We live in interesting times.
That's our news for today. I'm Alma Angeles, and indeed we live in interesting times.